This is Dan Ferrisi, Editor-in-Chief with Commercial Integrator. So happy to be joined this afternoon by my friend John Henkel, who is Director of SMB Product Marketing with NETGEAR. Thank you so much, John, for taking some time to chat with Commercial Integrator's audience and me.
Thanks, Dan. I'm really happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
So we're talking about something that I know is very near and dear to your heart, John, and to NETGEAR's heart, the idea of AV over IP, the shift to network-based audiovisual systems deployments. And I know you obviously are part of our networking deep dive in the November edition and on our website all through the month of November. So just give me a sense from the outset about your perspective on the rise of AV over IP, network-based systems, the blurring of lines between AV and IT, this new reality that we find ourselves in and that integrators find themselves in.
Boy, that's such a deep subject and something we've been talking about for so many years now. We're really seeing the changeover. Certainly more and more systems are going over IP. There's no question it's happening. There's no longer that when will it happen? Is it happening? And now how can I take advantage of that? How can I do this? How can I figure it out? And what we're here to say is you don't have to do it alone. You know, we've known networking forever. We're over 26 years of time in the networking business. And we've seen that rise of AV installations. And what we've done is made things easier for you. So from our switches that work out of the box for a lot of multicasting, for most multicasting installations, it'll just work out of the box. And that's phenomenal. That's a huge step. Besides that, we have software to help you configure the switch when you need to for complicated things like Dante audio or Dante video or NDI, things like that. All kinds of people are now coming into the networked AV side of things who don't really understand networking. I'm one of those people too. So we have an interface now, both built into the switches and now just yesterday released in the Engage controller software that you can install on your own for Windows or Mac, and you can configure multiple switches at once with a real simple interface just to configure a profile for whatever type of AV over IP you're doing. So those are the key things that we're doing from NETGEAR side to help make things easier.
And I think that making it easier is so important. The message that you conveyed, which is you don't have to do it alone, you have a partner in NETGEAR that you can depend on, is critical because obviously as much as the lines are blurring between AV and IT, there are a lot of integrators who may have been in the business, their company's been in the business for decades. The network-based AV, the AV over IP revolution is exciting and has tremendous profit potential, but they may not feel like they're fully up to snuff or they're fully ready to embrace it. And then you have to interface obviously with IT teams. Then you have to decide, are you going to do dedicated purpose-built AV networks or ride on the corporate backbone? There's just so much for integrators to get their mind around. What kind of feedback do you get from the integrator community when they say, or when you say to them, NETGEAR can help you. NETGEAR can give you a glide path to be able to make this work.
There's a couple of things to that, Dan, that come to mind. First of all, besides just all the easy interface and the things that work out of the box, we have a whole team of professionals who come from the IT side. They were our support specialists who have now been doing AV for a number of years. So they have all that background. And they're the guys who also certify all the equipment that we partner with. So all those encoder, decoders, everything else that's out there, the cameras that you might use as well, we've certified those with those manufacturers and to develop those profiles. So besides just the switches working, like I mentioned, you can send an email to our team, proavdesign@netgear.com, and that works worldwide. So it's easier than a phone number because then anybody can pick up the email whenever they have time. And they will help you, first of all, figure out what switches you need out of the box for your installation. They'll help design your network for free, and they'll help troubleshoot that and help you install it. So along the way, you get that consistent person who knows about your network, knows what you're doing, and also knows IT, and of course knows our switches inside and out, but also probably knows the other equipment on your install. So again, we're hand-holding you as much as we need to. And the other goal of that is to really train you for the next time. So besides that team, we have a training academy, netgear.academy. Just had a call this morning with our partners there developing content to make sure you're switch certified, you understand what IGMP is and multicasting, all these things that are new to a lot of AV people. We're going to help train you. So it's a teach a man to fish philosophy, right? We're going to help you the next time.
So John, can you tell me a little bit about the Pro Wi-Fi Design Group?
Good point, Dan. So along with our Pro AV Design Group, we've had for a number of years to help with your more wired switches and network design, we've developed another team of experts that have wireless knowledge, our wireless product managers and tech support engineers, systems engineers, to help you with designing your wireless system. So if you're not sure where to put the access points in a building, be it again a residence or a commercial building, doesn't matter. Same problems exist we can help you with that coverage to make sure that you do get the coverage you need from that access point. Again, simple email address, pro-Wi-Fi design @netgear.com, and you get access to those resources for free.
So one of our SMEs in the deep dive report said something along the lines of his view is in the very, very near future, 90% of AV systems deployments are going to be centered on or have as a key element of them an AV over IP approach. He said the real design criteria, the real design expertise is going to come not in deciding when to use it, but deciding in the rare instances when not to use it. It's going to become that pervasive. It's going to become that essential. Do you concur with that AV over IP really is going to be the future of commercial AV deployments? And if it isn't already ubiquitous, it's well on its way to near uniform ubiquity.
Oh, I totally agree. The number has grown and grown over the last number of years. I've been talking about AV over IP for 10 years, maybe almost that, forever. And the growing use of that is, so now we're past the tipping point for sure. And it's almost like we don't need to say AV over IP. We're just going to talk about IP. Everything is going to be because you have control. You certainly have audio and video, but you have control over there too. So things like wireless access points become part of the play as well. Because in the conference room, in the business, in the small business lobby, wherever, you're going to need maybe AV over IP for your digital signage, but you're also going to need wireless for your clients. So all that is wrapped around the network design and the build of that. So it really comes down to making sure you got that right and got it figured out before you start diving in. And again, we're here to help you do that, because people I know in the residential space and even commercial space, maybe you haven't done these sort of jobs yet, but you haven't had to, because if you're doing one conference room, that may not be required for sure. But even then, the tipping point is we're past that point where the cost is down enough. And what about a second room? What about more and more? What about a second screen in the lobby or somewhere? So you're going to want to build in that flexibility. And that certainly can only come with IP.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you talk about NETGEAR being there in the corner for integrator partners, and I can't necessarily think, I really can't think of a partner that's better situated to be a resource insofar as you say, NETGEAR has years of experience with these networking types of systems, familiarity with the residential side, familiarity with the commercial side. Do you just want to kind of conclude by buttoning up the value proposition that NETGEAR can offer to integrator partners who, again, have this constellation of opportunities at their fingertips, may not have all the configuration expertise, may not be IT experts, may not speak that language natively? Just kind of button up the idea that NETGEAR can help them and the pedigree that you have to do it.
Yeah, I think it comes down to making sure you choose a manufacturer that knows what you're doing, what you're working in. Are they a data center, manufacturer? Then they understand that. But if you're going into AV, we understand what you're up against, and we develop products and services and have the staff to help you with that and to figure it out. So we understand what the problems are with multicasting across a larger network. So we're not going to flood your network. So you can trust us that we've put everything in there we can to make the switch work really well and help you configure it quickly so you can move on to the other parts of the job. There are going to be other problems for sure. There's always something that pops up. The other thing is we have been doing networking for a number of years. Everybody knows NETGEAR. You think of us in a lot of different circumstances. So we know how to do networking pretty darn well, I'd say. And we're going to keep doing that. We have a lot of things in store to come out. We've learned from the last couple of years how to do things better for you so we can sell more switches, of course, but really make things easier for the marketplace. I think you'll continue to see growth in software and products coming up in the next couple of years.
It really comes down to trust, credibility, expertise. NETGEAR has all of those things. Thank you so much, John, for sharing some insights and helping our integrator audience know that they have a partner that they can turn to and learn from and kind of really capture the benefits that are at their fingertips here.
Absolutely. You summarized it perfectly, Dan. Thanks so much for having me. Appreciate it.
My pleasure. So happy to have been joined, as always, by John Henkel, who is Director of SMB Product Marketing with NETGEAR. My name is Dan Ferrisi, Editor-in-Chief with Commercial Integrator. Please check back on commercialintegrator.com regularly for more great and informative content just like this. And be sure to check out our networking deep dive, including a contribution from NETGEAR in the November issue of Commercial Integrator, as well as all over our website throughout the early part of the month of November. Once again, John, thank you.